Well, hey fans, welcome back to another movie review, and today we're talking about Den of Thieves 2, Pantera. So before I get to the rest of the review, I'd like to thank the sponsor for this video, MoviePass. So MoviePass is back and it's better than ever. It's a subscription-based ticketing service, and I've been using it for a few months now, and I just think it's great. And they have this neat new black card, and it feels great, and it's very easy to use. And unlike your AMC A-List or your Regal Unlimited, you can use MoviePass at almost any theater, and it is very simple to use. They now go off of a points-based system, so you pay every month, and that will vary depending on the market that you live in, and you'll get a certain amount of points to use for movies. And the price in terms of points for the movies varies depending on the day of the week that you go to the theater, the time of the showing, and how recently the movie has been released. So what you'll do is you'll go into the app, you'll click the movie that you want to see, unlock the card, and then pay. You can also pick the online option for just a few more points if you don't want to wait in line. So again, thank you to MoviePass. So Den of Thieves 2, Pantera is a heist film directed by Christian Gudegast, starring Gerard, Butler, and O'Shea Jackson Jr. It is a sequel to Den of Thieves, and this one follows Donnie. He's like in Europe, Africa, that area, and he is working with the Pantera crew, and they're about to steal some diamonds. Big Nick from the first movie, he is still trying to close the case with Donnie about them robbing the Federal Reserve, although no money was lost. If you've seen the events of the first one, I'm not going to go completely over the movie now, but he's really trying to solve that case. So he ends up tracking Donnie overseas and finds him and pretty much makes the story up about how his life has gone to shit since the case, and he wants in on this current heist that they're doing. And so once he does that, he, starts to get to know Donnie a little more, gets to know the team a little more, and that is the basic premise of this movie. And I have to say, it's all right. It's not exactly what I wanted to be. The first Den of Thieves movie, I really, really enjoyed. It was a surprise hit the year it came out, which I think is like 2018. It's that old. And it was basically like The Usual Suspects in the fact that we did not know Donnie was the mastermind until the very end, and they did a great job of hiding it. And I was just super excited to get the sequel because there's a little stinger at the end of the first movie. Not like a post-credit scene or anything, but at the very end, Donnie's in Europe, and he's starting his same rub over again to rob this diamond exchange. And I thought that would be exactly where the second movie would pick up. And they do stick with like a diamond heist, but it's been like many years later, and it's a totally different thing. So the thing about this movie is, I think Christian Gudegast, it just got too big. The first one, while it was a very important heist, it just all seemed like, a very small contained story. This one seemed like they wanted to make this big Italian job type movie, and I think it lost some of the spark that the first movie had. And add that on top of the fact that it's been like 5 years since that first movie. I think it didn't pick up the same steam as the first one. And I enjoyed Gerard Butler. The movies that he makes, his star has kind of fallen a little bit, but he's really consistent at making these moderately enjoyable movies. Greenland, I watched a few years ago with him in it. Really enjoyed that movie. O'Shea Jackson Jr., that kid, he owns up to the fact that, look, I'm a Nepo baby. I love it. My dad is Ice Cube, and I got some of these roles thanks to him, and I'm just going to keep working on my craft. And I think he's doing a great job. I think he's a fantastic actor. He's good in this movie as Donnie. I'm glad to see that character back, but I didn't want to see him back in this story. I wanted to see him back in another very similar to the first film, but I think this one, they just kind of did a little too much. The set pieces are good. The action is somewhat good. I do feel like it is a little too long. It is like 2.5 hours almost, and I'm just like, there are certain parts of the movie where I did start to fall asleep because I did feel like it was dragging on. It was getting a little boring, and that is not what you want from your heist film. You want to be drawn in and involved with every single character. You want to be invested in everybody and what's going on. But outside of Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr., Donnie and Big Nick, I can't tell you who any of the other characters in this movie are, or what happened to them throughout. They're just in and out of my head just like that, and that's kind of sad that none of the auxiliary characters are memorable. In the first movie, I can tell you exactly about Pablo Schreiber and 50 Cent and all these other guys who were around these two main stars, and they failed in that aspect. And like I said, it's not to say the movie is bad. It's just overall, it's pretty boring. It's just like a typical. This feels like something that should have been released like straight to DVD or something like that, or straight to streaming. It just doesn't have the it factor that the first movie had. I know I've already said that. In terms of a score, I'm going to give Den of Thieves 2 Pantera solid 5 out of 10. I mean, check it out in theaters if you want, but I'll probably wait for it to hit a streaming service. And the title. I don't like the title, Den of Thieves 2 Pantera. It's unnecessary. Just call it Den of Thieves 2. We don't need the Pantera add-on. It just feels elongated for no reason. And even if you look at all the marketing recently, they just call it Den of Thieves 2. They leave the Pantera out. I think Pantera is only on the poster at this point. I saw an interview with Gerard, Butler, and O'Shea Jackson Jr. on The Breakfast Club, and they have an idea for a third movie. Apparently, the director wants to base the next one off of another real-life heist, and I don't think they should do that. I think they should just go back small and do another small heist movie like the first movie, if they even get the chance to do that. I'd like to thank you guys again for joining me for a movie review. You can find the full review on YouTube and the website, flipfrogllc.com/flicksfrog. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.